As a busy agency owner, chances are you're always on the move, whether you're a copywriter, an ads manager, a content marketing agency. From pitches to meetings and from launches to partnerships, it's pretty busy. But have you ever thought about how your business could grow if you just took a little bit of a different approach? Instead of just offering agency services, what if you moved into advisory services as well, like consultancy? Something with a higher profit margin that requires less of you and focuses in on your genius. It sounds awesome, right? And all of that reduction in the doing could even help your company become even more successful. So by making the switch to consulting or even adding on consulting services to your existing business, you can really step up the game. My name is Laura Meyer, and I'm a growth strategist to some of the country's fastest growing brands, and I'm also a mentor to consultants. And in this video, I'm going to be sharing with you ways in which you can add consulting services onto your existing agency business. And many of you might have thought of this before, but it's not always as simple or as straightforward as it might initially appear. So in this video, I'm going to highlight some of the key considerations that you'll want to make when moving away from agency services and transitioning into consulting. So in order to have context for this video, it might be helpful just to learn a little bit about my background. I spent 15 years in brick and mortar as an entrepreneur and then started getting into consulting. And when I first entered into the consulting world, I was a brand strategist. So I worked on brand strategy. A little bit of done for you, but mostly consulting around messaging, brand positioning, running workshops for some pretty well-known brands in the country. And I loved it. It was so fun. It was really rewarding. And that creative challenge of trying to figure out what's the right brand position, as well as the intellectual challenge of looking at the numbers and data, was so fun. But what happened is over time, it was really challenging for me to always be in this feast and famine mode. Like I always had a big multi-5-figure brand project or I had nothing. And as I started to think about, gosh, is there a better way? I started to specialize in growth strategy and growth consulting in addition to the brand strategy. And what happened is my company transformed. I went from, modest months and having nice months to having amazing months every single time. And that was a game changer in my business. So you can apply this principle if you're a copywriter, if you're a content marketer, if you're an ads manager, or any type of done-for-you service. You might have experienced the same. It's really easy for people to come and go because they will go from one done-for-you service provider to the next. But making the shift to running your agency offering as a consultant can be so rewarding. And first, I'm going to give you a tip. You want to start off on the right foot. It's really important to understand that your role as a consultant is so different than your role as an agency owner. This is a little bit of a mind twist for people in our consulting certification program, because when you switch from a mindset of supplying a service or a product as a vendor versus being a thought partner, you're no longer just simply providing them with something they need, which can be kind of transactional, but you're rather partnering up with them and developing creative ideas and strategies that they couldn't have come up with on their own. The ultimate measure of success being long-term, meaningful relationships and mutually beneficial outcomes. Ultimately, taking this approach successfully will really help you establish yourself as a thought partner to your clients, somebody who adds value far beyond just simply delivering deliverables or solutions. So making this move from agency to consultant is no small feat, especially when it comes to structuring your virtual delivery, which many of you might be doing. Instead of cranking out chunks of tangible products or deliverables, consultants offer strategizing and influence that doesn't have necessarily a physical output, which can be really challenging for people who are agency owners. So that's why it's so necessary to gain clarity on what frameworks you'll use to provide value for your clients. Because after all, without a structure, it's really difficult for them to assess the real value for their business within consulting offerings, which is what makes it kind of a challenge when you're first moving from agency services. Our signature framework, called the LEAP framework, helps give you that structure so that there's a tangible outcome rather than you, again, providing those services as the outcome. To be a successful consultant, you really need a consistent framework that you use every single time with your clients again and again, which makes your consultancy scalable while also providing value. Making the transition from agency owner to consultant can be kind of overwhelming when you think about it. So as you're taking on this whole new role in this whole new mindset. So another important step in this process is to think about any skill sets that you just need to round out in order to be able to provide consulting services. So for example, if you've been running paid traffic or you're a paid traffic expert for Facebook or TikTok, but you don't know that much about SEO, you might want to consider building up your knowledge or expertise in some of those other areas, skill building, before taking on consulting work. Focusing on building up your skill set before transitioning to being a consultant is such a great strategy because it ensures that you're well equipped to deliver whatever comes your way as a consultant. And if you don't want to do that, just assess each client opportunity from the standpoint of whether or not you have the knowledge in that area of business. A certification like the one that I offer can be a really quick and effective way to build your skill set as a consultant so you can go in confident when you're providing those types of services. What we find is with the right tools and the right frameworks, agency owners make a pretty seamless transition to consulting because so much of the foundational work has been done in building the agency, meaning that you're already really skilled at client management, new client acquisition. You already understand ROI. Like you've done a lot of the hard work in being a business owner, that adding on advisory services is simpler than most agency owners tend to think that it will be. So if you're an agency owner, I hope this provides you with a lot of encouragement around what's possible if you're just feeling a little bit done with the done for you, or you're feeling a little bit burnt out with agency services, which can sometimes happen. It also might mean that you're just ready for something new, that agency offer got you to where you are today. And now it's time to expand your horizons, challenge yourself a little bit further, and honestly, maybe make a little bit more and work a little bit less. So if this is something that you want to learn more about, I have a free guide. It's an ebook that I think you'll love. And it's all about how to turn your expertise into a money-making consulting offer. So you'll see it right here in the link below and underneath this video description. And if you loved this video or you have questions, let me know. Hearing from you helps me create more high-value content with experts like yourself. Also, make sure you follow along and subscribe, and I'll see you soon in the next video.